Yo guys, it's Captain Thorpe here, and today I'll be doing Liverpool's Premier League Season Review Part 1, the 20 games as of Boxing Day. Now, as a summary of Liverpool's season, clearly we can't defend. The amount of goals we've conceded is ridiculous, and we've been very inconsistent from the start. I'll just quickly take you through the 20 games that we played so far. So we kicked it off and set the tone against Watford with a 3-3 draw. Brilliant attacking, dreadful defending. We then beat Crystal Palace 1-0. We smashed Arsenal 4-0. Then we lost to City 5-0 after the international break. Drew 1-1 with the informed Burnley. Then we beat Leicester 3-2 with Jordan Henderson's first and only goal of the season, proving to be the winner. And then we drew 1-1 with Newcastle. Had to survive Man United parking the bus and drew 0-0 with them, and then we went to Wembley and lost 4-1 to Spurs. After that, we went on an 11-game unbeaten run where we beat Huddersfield 3-0, we beat West Ham 4-1, we beat Southampton 3-0, drew 1-1 with Chelsea, beat Stoke 3-0, beat Brighton 5-1, drew 1-1 with the scummy side of Merseyside, drew 0-0 with West Brom, and smashed Bournemouth 4-0, drew 3-3 with Arsenal, and beat Swansea 5-0. So the first game that I want to look at in depth is the first day of the season when we faced Watford. So this was the first day of the season, and we ended up drawing 3-3, Watford scoring in the 93rd minute. Yes, it was offside, but really, it shouldn't have been that close a game. It's against Watford. We should have absolutely destroyed them, but we didn't. Coutinho had previously handed in a transfer request on the morning of the first day of the season, and he didn't play due to a so-called back injury. I don't think he was injured at all, and basically wanted to move from Liverpool. But it was such a sneaky way of doing it on the first day of the season. Why didn't he hand his transfer request in before? I don't know. The only positive we can take from that is that maybe he's really unsure about his future, and hopefully he will keep staying for the following, for seasons to come. We'd signed no centre-backs in the transfer window. The only defender was Andrew Robertson, who didn't play, which meant that we had the same defensive problems. Nothing was going to change. We didn't sign any new centre-backs. And you can't expect anything other than scoring a load of goals and conceding a load of goals, because that's just classic Liverpool. And it is a shame, but that really set the tone for the season. Scored 3 goals, conceded 3 goals. Firmino got man of the match. And I will move on to a really disappointing game that just proves how poorly we are capable of playing. Yes, we can play really well, but when we faced Manchester City after the international break, we were utterly dreadful. This was my reaction to the 5-0 defeat. Okay, let's go through the goals that they scored. Goal number 1, pathetic. Kevin De Bruyne plays a simple through ball through the middle of Liverpool's defence, and this is the result. Aguero rounds the keeper and puts it into an empty net. That is absolutely embarrassing. This is why we need a big defender like Van Dijk, but we don't have one, so these kind of mistakes happen. Aguero and Gabriel Jesus combining again. Mignolet looking like an absolute fool again. 3-0. Having demolished Arsenal 2 weeks ago, to go from that to this is just terrible. I'm absolutely sick to the back teeth of it. I don't know why we can't learn to defend, sign a new defender or something. Well, we can't sign a new defender anymore. We've lost that chance. Let's just keep signing strikers, and then, oh, hello, we might score a goal. But if we concede 4, it doesn't really matter, does it? And actually, we haven't even scored a goal in this game. Wearing my heart on my sleeve there, but it is true. Like I mentioned, the 4-0 victory over Arsenal a couple of weeks earlier. And it just shows how inconsistent Liverpool FC can be. I mean, it's a joke sometimes. From winning 4-0 against Arsenal to losing 5-0 to Man City. But hey, let's talk about this performance. And it was a great win against Arsenal. There was 4 different scorers. The fans gave a very warm applause to Oxlade-Chamberlain as he was subbed off. And of course, 4 days later, he decided to come to Liverpool for less money than Chelsea and Arsenal were offering him. But he decided to come here because he knew that he would be treated better and be able to play in the positions that he'd want to play, not thrown in wing back. So if we compare this 4-0 result to when we played Arsenal later in the season, more inconsistencies. This time a draw, 3-3. Oh, what a disaster this one was. We conceded 3 goals in 4 minutes and 45 seconds. Now that is almost unheard of. That is an absolute joke. 4 minutes and 45 seconds for 3 goals. for two top Premier League teams, or at least former top Premier League teams, because both of them were dreadful, and it shows that both of them will not win the Premier League this season because of that performance. When we're playing well, brilliant, you know, when the sun's out, when the clouds are parted, brilliant, we're going to score a load of goals. But when it means we've got to sit and defend, we're not up to it, and neither are Arsenal. Arsenal weren't in the game in the first half, we were absolutely loving life, and then of course Arsenal scored, the whole game flips on its head, Firmino got one back, whole game flips on its head again. That should not happen in a Premier League match with two quality teams, but it did, which just shows that neither team has the mentality to win the Premier League anytime soon, unless, you know, big signings are made. If we go through the 3 goals we conceded, the first one was really lazy defending from Gomez. I don't want to say much on Gomez because he has had a really good season, but it was dreadful. He should not have let Sanchez get ahead of him, and he just slipped over at the end just to make it look like he slips. He didn't slip at all. He was embarrassed. And the second one was dreadful goalkeeping from Simon Mignolet. Xhaka shoots it straight at him. Mignolet puts one hand out. You're not going to save it with one hand unless it's directly behind the ball, and it won't be. Put 2 hands there and you can palm it away, but one hand is going to go in the net whatever happens. And then the third goal, I mean, the players weren't interested. It was just lazy defensive errors, and really, Klopp needs to sign a new centre-back to stop these kind of errors from happening, and so we can become a lot more consistent, because we know attack can win you games, but defence is what wins you titles. Later on in the season, we played Newcastle and we drew 1-1, and I did a rant on this game because I was embarrassed, to be quite frankly honest, and I talked about how bad each of the players individually are and how we need to sign improvement players. Why do I bother? I'm absolutely sick of it. I'm just at the point now where it's just time for the manager to leave. Why? Because he's signed absolute clowns of players. Yes, he's the biggest clown of them all, but let's go through each one individually. We'll start off with the goalkeepers. Simon Mignolet. Yes, he's in okay form at the moment, but he should not be Liverpool's number 1 keeper. If you look at likes of De Gea, look at likes of Edison, or Cech or Courtois, they're much better than what we've got to offer. Simon Mignolet and his backup, Loris Karius, is an actual laughingstock. He's an actual literal joke of a player. I then went on to pull apart most of our players individually, but really it just highlights how much strengthening we need to do in January. We need to sign at least 1 more centre-back, maybe even 2 or 3, and definitely a new goalkeeper, because Mignolet and Karius aren't good enough in my opinion. Soon after this match we faced Tottenham, and oh my word, what a disaster that was. There's my reaction to the game. How Klopp has not been given the boot yet is absolutely beyond me. He's the most deluded manager in the Premier League. The fact that he can sit there and defend his defenders' performances in press conferences, challenging the opinions of interviewers as if they've never watched a game of football in their lives, proves just how much of a stubborn, foolish and know-nothing fraud of a manager he is. The bottom line is, this is the most embarrassing defence that the Premier League has to offer, conceding more goals than any other team away from home, as much as 3 more than Crystal Palace. And as for Mignolet, no, don't get me started on that Belgian prick. He was partly to blame for every single goal that went in this afternoon. Nowhere to be seen for the 4th after flapping away a cross that even I could have caught. Despite Firmino's best efforts, Kane was left with an empty net for his 2nd, and that was it. Game over. None of them could be bothered. None of them cared enough to put in a shift that would have earned them respect from the fans. By that point at half-time, it was game, set, match to Tottenham. That bunch of clowns should be absolutely ashamed of themselves, as the fans are of them. Salah was the only player that actually made a difference. The rest of them need to take a long, hard look at themselves. For the money they get paid, that was absolutely horrendous. Strong words, huh? Well, this is how the Premier League table looked after that game against Spurs. Now, we had dropped to 9th place, below Burnley, Newcastle and Watford, and on just over half the amount of points the Manchester City have. So it's a really good job that we managed to pull it back. And then we went on a long 11-game unbeaten run that's still going on to this day. It was absolutely perfect, which has dragged us into the top 4. And on that positive note, let's get into some goal charts. Now we have the top assisters first. Now Emre Can is joint 4th with Sadio Mane, both with 3 assists in the Premier League this season. Roberto Firmino is in 3rd place with 4 assists. Salah is in 2nd place with 5 assists. And Coutinho is our top assister at Christmas with 6 assists. And then there is the goal scorers. Now in 5th place, Oxlade-Chamberlain with his 2 goals. In 4th place is Sadio Mane with 4 goals. In 3rd place, Felipe Coutinho with 7 goals. 2nd place, Firmino with 9 goals, which is brilliant. But in 1st place, Mohamed Salah, what a player he has turned out to be. 15 goals in, I think, 18 appearances. That is incredible. So hats off to Salah, and he is our top scorer just after Christmas. So this is what the Premier League currently looks like. Manchester City are miles ahead of Manchester United at the top. Liverpool are in 4th place with their late unbeaten run. Tottenham are hot on our heels in 5th. Arsenal a fair bit behind, but a game in hand in 6th, and Burnley in 7th. So that is what the table looks like at the moment. My predictions for the rest of the season, I think obviously City will go on to win the league. I think Liverpool, I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt and say they will make top 4, along with Chelsea and maybe United or maybe Tottenham. Still not sure yet. Now it is time for my top 10 players of the season so far, and at number 10 it is Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. I would put him higher, but he has only started 6 games, although he has come off the bench for 11 more. He's scored a couple, he's assisted a couple, he's played really well, and I think that he's going to be a great player for the future. Still only young and with a lot of potential. At number 9, it is Joel Matip. He's started most of the games, he's even scored a goal, but really he's got a lot of tackles in per game. He's got a very high pass completion, 90%. He's been okay. He's been one of our best defenders, although to be fair, that's not a hard competition to win. At number 8, we have Gini Wijnaldum. Wijnaldum has started 15 games, so most of them. And he scored, he's assisted, he's got high pass completion. He is a quality player. He's not played as well as he did last season, but hopefully we've still got the best games to come from him this season. But as it stands, he's been decent and he deserves 8th place. Joe Gomez is 7th. Now this might be a bit of a surprise, but to be fair, Joe Gomez has been our best defender in my opinion. He started 13 games, got a couple of assists. He's got a very high tackles per game ratio. He is a very good player, to be fair, good young player, and we need a lot more of him or other quality defenders in January. Jordan Henderson is 6th. Now he divides opinion actually, because a lot of people want him out of the team, but I think he's a great captain, to be honest. He started 15 games, he's only recently got injured. He scored a goal, he's assisted, he's got good tackles per game, he's got a good pass completion, he's a great all-round player, he's a great captain to have, and I'm happy he's in the team. Jordan Henderson, 6th place. Into the top 5 we go, and here is Emre Can. Now Emre Can has played pretty well this season. He started most of the games. He's scored, he's assisted 3, high tackles, high passes. Yes, he's got 5 yellow cards, but to be honest, it's worth it. He's been very good this season. Hopefully there's more to come from him. And in we go to the Fab 4. It can only be the Fab 4 to get the top 4 spots, and Sadio Mane is 4th. He's scored 4, he's assisted 3 in his 11 starts, so they have been suspended and injured. But when he's played, he's been pretty good, but not as good as the other 3. However, I will not myself decide who's going to win. I have an idea in mind, but I'm going to leave it up to you guys. Now, yes, you guys need to press I in the top right corner to cast your own votes and have your own say on who wins at Christmas. Now, the last 2 seasons I've done this, the win at Christmas has not been the same as the win at the end of the year. So, you know, I mean, think carefully you're voting for. Who do you want to be the best player at the end of the year? Maybe you'll go for someone different, I don't know. But it's up to you guys. You guys will press I, you guys will vote. And thank you very much for watching. That brings this video to an end. Please like, subscribe if you haven't already. I've got another special video coming out later on in the year, so the next few days. And yeah, just thanks for watching. Adios.